Hello, we are Anonymous. I would like to explain what exactly Anonymous is, and how an individual person goes about joining Anonymous. There are hundreds of common misconceptions about Anonymous itself, mainly due to false reports from the media and a general misunderstanding of what Anonymous actually is. First of all, Anonymous is not an organization that has any sort of core leadership, and people that are anonymous have many different agendas. Anonymous functions simply because individual people step forward on individual operations and then carry them out, but there is never one person always giving commands or telling people what they should do. Underneath the so-called anonymous title, there are many different groups that have leaders who organize their missions, but these leaders do not represent Anonymous as a whole. To make this easier to explain, let me give you a quick breakdown of the history of Anonymous. Anonymous originated on the B-board area of 4chan. On this message board, almost everyone is called Anonymous since no registration was required. These people really began to separate into different groups after some of them fought the Church of Scientology. After that operation, some members of Anonymous were angry that others were taking things seriously and using their power on the internet to carry out actual agendas. Eventually, the people that wanted to only troll on forums and mess around on the internet no longer identified with the group we now call Anonymous. This left only more serious members, some of which were hackers, but others were just interested in their cause and wanted to join them in fighting whatever they were against. Since going against the Church of Scientology, Anonymous has completed a number of well-known operations against many governments and other corrupt and disgusting organizations. Most recently, these operations have been widely viewed as good even if the specific tools used in completing them, such as hacking, are still illegal. So, knowing the shortened history of Anonymous, you are probably wondering how to join. Well, unlike virtually any other organization or cause, you do not fill out a membership, pay any money, or talk to a specific person. Joining Anonymous is quite literally becoming anonymous and operating online as a being separate from your real identity in the world. If you feel as though fighting against the disgusting ideals and corruption of governments and organizations should employ any tool necessary without almost any restriction, then you are already basically anonymous. When joining our community, whether it be the highly active IRC chat rooms or even Twitter, you will quickly see that there are individual groups under Anonymous, but we are all basically working towards the same thing. You do not have to ask to join any group within Anonymous, just simply start becoming active in our discussions, in the IRC, or on Twitter, and help us in whichever way you can. On to the topic of hacking. Hacking is a broad term that is usually used in a negative fashion, because for the most part it is illegal. Because it is illegal, I will never recommend the act of hacking because with it comes the possibility of serious penalties, and even jail time. However, when something is done for good, laws are sometimes meant to be broken for the betterment of society. In the end, hacking will always be employed by some, but is not required in any way, so there is no point in discussing hacking too deeply. Your best and easiest way to get involved with Anonymous is to start following your Anon News on Twitter, and then follow other well-known Anonymous members, and even myself if you want to. From there, I recommend getting into the IRC chat rooms such as AnonOps or VoxAnon. Here you will need to have OpenSSL installed on your computer, mainly to ensure that you are using a secured connection. Other tools like a Linux operating system and a VPN are great, but not always necessary. So, if you have decided that becoming part of an international group of people who fight for the betterment of society, then please join us. We are Anonymous, we are Legion, we do not forgive, we do not forget, expect us. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, www.twitter.com/mallols,